From the
Not at all.
outside, the Conservative Party looks more divided from ever, and yet the Prime Minister wants us to believe that you are united. From your perspective, how is it looking?
Well, of course, the Conservative Party has always been a broad church with both wings. But this bill, which was billed as the party being highly divided, only 11 people voted against it. And we've got, what, 350 odd members of parliament. So I don't think the party is as divided as the media would have us believe.
Well, I mean, there were 60 odd rebellions this week, weren't there? The biggest rebellion of his premiership so far. He lost his two party chairmen, and letters of no confidence have been submitted.
60 odd people voted against some of the amendments, but actually they were voted down. The bill's gone to the Lords unamended. And that is not unusual in a bill in the Commons for a lot of people to vote for an amendment. And that is democracy in action. We debate things in the House, we come to a view, and that's the view we've come to.
And I think
most people in the party, by far the bulk of the party, want to see this bill on the statute book to try and see if we can reduce this illegal migration. And that's what it's all about.
Well, I think Rishi Sunak will be breathing a sigh of relief that he actually did get that through. The front page of the Daily Mail says, "Don't defy the will of the people. Rishi warns the Lords." Now, yesterday, that statement by the Prime Minister really was a party political broadcast, wasn't it? It wasn't actually telling the press anything they didn't know.
Well, I think he was just saying to the House of Lords, look, this is the settled view of the House of Commons. It's gone through with a substantial majority, over 40. This is what the British people want. When I'm knocking on doors, I find that this overwhelmingly, people want us to try and reduce this illegal migration because it's putting such pressure on our public services, and it is involving danger to life crossing the channel. So I think what he was saying to the House of Lords is, please bear these points in mind. Yes, debate it by all means, but let's get it through the House of Lords in a reasonable space of time.
So what happens now, just in terms of the Conservative Party in the looming general election? Rishi Sunak has made this one of his 5 pledges. He didn't say, let's reduce the boats. He said, stop the boats. And that means no boats. Now, we're not seeing that at all. We've already seen something like 600 people come here illegally so far this year. But also, when you look at that YouGov poll, the Conservative Party is now on the lowest amount of support it's had since Liz Truss was Prime Minister. So they're polling at 20%. Labour is way ahead at 47%, and then other parties follow behind. So the Tories in real trouble here.
Well, I think that, of course, splits in a party never help. And this has been hugely reported to this relatively small number of Conservative MPs. What I would say now is that I hope these people will give the whole bill the benefit of the doubt and let it pass. And get it onto the statute book, and let's hope that we can get some people to Rwanda and start reducing the boats. That's what it's all about. I think that if these people want to win an election, the party's got to come together, and we've got to start reducing the boats. I think stopping the boats is almost impossible. I mean, other countries...
The Prime Minister was wrong to make that one of his 5 key pledges then, Geoffrey. That was a mistake, wasn't it?
Well, I think if it had been me, I would have said substantially reduce the boats rather than stop the boats. I don't think you'll ever stop the boats.
And yet he's telling us, stick with the plan, stick with the plan.
Well, that's what he said. But I think he would have been better to have said reduce the boats. And that's what we're all about, I think. This is a very, very difficult problem.
But let's just go back to that poll. Reform UK now on 12%. A lot of Tories deserting the Conservative Party, not just because the boats haven't stopped, but also because of having the highest tax burden in 70 years. Richard Tice has been very clear he wants to change that. I think there are many disaffected Tories who are saying, I don't recognise the current Conservative Party. They are not Conservative.
Well, listen, I'm not being King Canute-like, but we have got a budget to come up in March, and I've no doubt we will see some more tax reduction on top of the autumn statement reducing national insurance. I think if we can make more progress on the economy, make some progress on the boats, hopefully settle these strikes in the National Health Service and start making progress on the waiting list, it could well be in 6 months' time when an election comes that the situation will look very different. I don't know. I've been in Parliament a long time. I've seen lots of adverse polls before, and then a party come back and do substantially better at a general election. So I think, yes, it looks fairly dire at the moment, but I think things will improve.